will fix it soon. So we can go directly into the folder that we have it copy. Okay. So you can enter in the folder here. Be careful that over here is small letter. And over here now, you can have in the exercise, so you enter in the exercise. So this is going to be our repository for all the script that we are going to open. So every time that we are opening one script, please go into the exercise, okay, folder. So in particular now, we are going to use for the first time Jupyter Lab, okay? So if you do Jupyter Lab and then you paste, be careful, there are two intro, bash intro, so don't click on the enter, bash intro. So if you enter, it's going to pop up this Jupyter Lab that I already opened. So I will bring it over here and I will put also the terminal. In this way, you can open in the right path and you're running. Okay, so the bash language for the people new in Ubuntu and Linux is really the language that is directly talking with operating system. We are really fan of bash language. We use also Python and R and so on, but whatever is communicating with the operating system and moving file, copying file, Lonzu and I prefer to do it directly on the terminal because it's much faster and more efficient. And by the way, also having a good, very good understanding of bash later on allow you a really easy jump inside to the supercomputer. And by the way, we have also procedure and exercise for working supercomputer. And maybe a question for you guys, does the Stockholm University have a supercomputer that you guys are using? A cluster with a node and so on?
I don't exactly know. I remember that you can ask access for like, it's called Triolit. Yeah, there is a network that you can ask to get access to, but that was really long time ago.
Okay, so. is anyone using for his research some supercomputer?
Yeah, so I'm using Tetralith, but I think it's not from Stockholm University. It's like a common supercomputer. So I don't think we have our own kind of supercomputer with nodes and stuff.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Maybe I will coordinate with Otto if there is such a possibility for later on to some more advanced stuff. But anyway, even if we don't reach over there, with the bash knowledge that I'm going to transfer is going to be an easy application and jump over. Okay, so so I think everybody now is in the Jupyter notebook, in Jupyter Lab. There is also another application, that the Jupyter Notebook, that is a bit like, it's very similar to the Jupyter Lab, but a bit more with not so many, let's say, gadget for the graphical user interface. I will keep it also the terminal over here for some fast also use of the terminal. And I will follow this webpage that I think everybody opened. Yes, please.
Giuseppe, if you look into the chat box, some people have issues regarding to some questions.
So Jacob, yes, can you tell me what is?
I'm really, I never used like bash language before. So for me, I'm just really lost in opening folder. And so like in the start, it was say like open with sudo, and then I got an error, and now I'm just not clear because I'm not sure from where I'm starting.
Yeah. So we were here. So if you get around this, so we were. If you open a terminal, you do CD. And you enter in this terminal. Okay, perfect. So then you can launch. Let me close a bit of all this one. You can launch directly the Jupyter Lab. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now it's opening. It takes a while sometimes to open, but be patient. So in this context, the bash terminal is really the operating in contact with the operating system. So you can really do it a lot of stuff for file management and for dealing with operating system, like installation, like setting up a network, setting up a Wi-Fi. You can even shut down the computer, reboot. And some of them, they when you are dealing directly with a file, let's say under the file under your home, you can do without sudo password. Rather, if you are dealing with operation inside to the operating system for installation procedure, you need a sudo password. Okay. One of the most important stuff in the terminal, and also the difference, so be careful about this, is to understanding the terminal, each programming language is really to understanding the syntax of the bash language. In particular, whenever we dealing with the Jupyter Lab, in order, because this one is starting as a Python 3 kernel, so he think that he is going to use it over here. Is going to use it. Is going to expect a Python command, but we can use it directly. Bash command. Be careful, people. If you just put an exclamation mark in front of the command. Okay. So if I do it over here, for example, let me jump to this one. I just changed. So if I do it over here, $ls. Okay, is going and then run. When you run, you can click this one. It's going to compute the command. Okay, and of course over here that you are in the bash terminal, you don't need to put a question mark. Okay, it's just ls, and you can go directly into the list of files. Okay, so this is quite handy. And in particular, the bash command has always this option. The first word is the command that you are using, and then everything that is between square brackets is optional, and then you have the file. Okay, so in particular, if you see this one, for example, the man count minus c count allow you to search for all the command. Allow to search for all the command with the word count. Okay, so the key stay for key, and this allow you faster searching. For example, if I want to search a command, the table is able to count the file. The row inside of file. I can do man dash key count, and I can see that the word WC, it means word count. You are able to count how many lines you have in a file. So these allow a fast reading, a fast checking. So if I want man searching for a particular print, so allow you to search all the command inside to the database of the manual. So rather man count. Okay. So you can see that I'm interested in this one. And then when you do man, you can see the syntax. So as you can see, you have the command, then all the option and option or flag, they also call it flag, they start always with a dash. And then whatever is not under parentheses means that is compulsory. Okay. So in this particular case, for example, we can use the word count to check how many words we have in a file. Okay. And we will see how to use interactively all these commands in the bash terminal. One of the most important one, as I mentioned to you, is the list. Okay, file list. And of course, you can list directly whatever in this directory, but also whatever is in another directory, giving the relative path or the absolute path. Okay, so of course, every time you don't need to enter in the directory, so you can do directly ls geodata cloud, and then you can list whatever is inside to that list. So list and CD they are one of the most important command that you can do it. And again, for the for the JupyterLab notebook, whenever you put the exclamation mark, means that you are running a bash command and not a Python command. So Lonzu later on, when it's going to use it Python, we can just write over here Python command directly. So this is the advantage of using the bash command directly in the JupyterLab. Something very important and something that sometimes is a bit tricky to understand is the redirecting of the output, and in particular is this symbol over here. Okay, so whatever I print in the terminal, so this is what I print. Okay, this is what I print. It can become a file. You can transfer this information inside to the file. And in particular, you do this one with one single direction symbol over here. So what is happening that if I run this one, okay, if I run this one, now I will have one file that will have the list of the file, okay? So inside over here, now I will have one file that is going to call my list, and this list is going to have the information that I print, okay? In other words, I can transfer to a file whatever I print in the terminal, everything. If I do sequence from 1 to 20, I create a sequence. I can save it to a file and say my sequence .txt, okay? So now my sequence.txt is going to be directly whatever I print in the terminal. So what does it mean? Whatever you see, once again, whatever you see that you print in the terminal can become a file. So let's give another example, a bit more advanced. But for example, we are going to use GDAL-info. GDAL-info is for the geographical information that is retrieving the metadata of the file, of a TIFF file. So in this context, over here, if I do GDAL-info, I can retrieve extent of the file, pixel resolution, and so on. Perfect. Also, this one is printed to the file, and I can create my, I call it in this case, try to always giving a metadata TIFF.txt. Okay. So now also this information of the this information is going to be stored in that file. Okay. Once again, whatever you print in the terminal can become a file. Now question, which kind of file is this one? So it's nothing else than a text. Okay. Is not binary, is not compressed, it's just a simple text. You can even open with an editor, okay, with an external editor. You can, I think this one has a leaf path. Yeah, you can open directly with a simple editor, just a text, okay? So keep in mind that you can redirect, and this is the real terminology, that we can use it. Whatever you print, you can redirect to a file. This is quite important. Okay, so this is giving to you a lot of flexibility in saving to a file, a lot of information that you print in the terminal. Also, and this information can be the output of a for loop, the output of a single command, and so on. So really can become quite handy in this context. So the more list, yeah, my list, the command more list, be careful to use this one into the Jupyter. Actually, I have to remove it because you can get stuck into the into this action. Anyway, the more list give you the flexibility to scrolling down inside to the command, inside to the list, inside to the text file in a from the top, of course, from the top to down. in a sequence mode. Let me give you a better example over here. So let me recall it a command. And now for the people more advanced, in order to give a bit of hints to them, so try to always get fast in using the keyboards. And in particular, I will give you from time to time some tricks. So if you move the up and down arrow, you can go back. Okay, you can go back in all the command that you do it. But something very handy that not many people use, if you do Control R, so be careful, directly in the terminal, don't use it in the Jupyter Lab because it's a bit awkward. I think it doesn't work. If you do Control R, you go in this one, in reverse I search, okay? So the I stay for the command, the word that you want to search for. Before I was using the command sequence, okay? So if I type seq, okay, it's going to list all the command that I use the word sequence. So if you keep pressing again Control R, you arrive to the one that I wanted. I want this one. Then you do the arrow on the right, and you enter in the editing mode without running. Okay, so over here you can adjust the command as you want. You can enter or you can modify. In my case, I want this one. I want to modify, make a list longer to explain better the more command. Okay, so at this point I have this file that is going to be quite long. So it's going to be indeed 2000 line, 20,000 line, and I can scrolling down in this command with more. So this one is allow you to just press enter, and you can scrolling down as you want. So this is not a big issue for the Linux machine because the RAM is used only to store these 20 numbers. That's why you can open a file of 2 giga, no problem. It's going to open just one section and going down quite fast, okay? And of course, over here, you can see the percentage. You can see what is the percentage. Okay, so there is an important question. What is the difference between more and less? Good one. I don't know, I just for for an habit, I use more, but many people use less, and actually they always say less is more than less. So no, or maybe other way around. Yeah, less is more than more, something like this. So less allow you to open one session, and scrolling down, but also up. You can go reverse with the arrow. Okay, so it's the same concept, but in more you can only go down, let's say, and with less you can go up and down. And then you can press Q to exit. Remember this Q. And this Q is working for less and also for more. Okay, so the same. Over here, you can see I cannot go up with up and down with the arrow. I can just press enter and going down. As I mentioned, many people actually, I think less is better. That's why they do these kind of jokes. But I don't know, as an habit, I always do more. Lunzu, do you use more less or more?
I mean, less come later than more. I use less often. It has more functions. Like example, you can do the searching. You can print the index. You can have a lot of VI type of keyboard, regular expressions. So it's quite handy. I normally do less, but it depends. And when you get more used to it, whichever works for you, use it.
Yeah, so the searching function is quite good. Actually, come to my mind when Lonzo say it's quite tricky. If you don't know, you do the slash, and then you put a word that you want to search. Let's search for 2000. Okay, and so as soon you enter, you jump directly to the 2000 line. Okay, and probably if you press N, you can go to the next one, isn't it, Lonzo? But of course, I don't have more 2000, or maybe it will give, yes, it's going to be to the next 2000, but it's not the full 2000 number. So just press N is going to jump again, whatever is fine, the 2000, okay? So this is quite handy to use in less. So again, you press like this, and then you put a word that you want, 30, is going to jump whenever you find 30, and then the N again is jumping over in all the 30 that you find. So this is quite handy to understand some fast searching. Okay, so this the use of searching with this slash is also possible inside to the manual. So if I use man VC, and then, for example, I do search count, enter, is going to list all the word that in count. And again, if you press N, is going to go next. So this is very handy if you remember already what is the word that you want to search in that manual page. You just press N and you can go very fast where you want to go. So again, this one is with a backslash directly, and then you write count, okay? And then you say N and you press it. I also, one time more, I also one time more, I also repeat the reverse searching, Control R. So let's see, for example, how I was doing the installation. We were using APT. So you write APT, you are in the reverse searching, and now you keep pressing Control R until you arrive to the one that you want. Let's say I don't have too many, but let's say sudo apt update. Then you do the arrow to the right, and you can enter now. Okay, you can enter, or of course you can modify. So and then I use another few shortcut, Control A to go to the beginning of the line, and Control E, and stay for end, A stay for alpha as a first, and E as an end, and you can go in direct. So rather than do it like this, that sometimes is okay. Now it's very short, so you are fast. You can just do it Control E or Control A to go up and down to the line. Okay. So these are the shortcuts that I quite often use. Then there are many others. You can click directly. Actually, by the way, all this lecture is also inside to the Jupyter, inside to our web page under Linux bus operation. So it's perfect. We are following the same material. So if you want something fast, all the scripts they are going to be in the virtual machine. They're also on the web. So if you want something fast, come back to the web rather than open the virtual machine and searching for the exercise that we did and so on. So this is for your information. So these are the keywords that we use. There are some other. Lonzu was for sure. I use more some others, but this one they will come with the time and so on. Is there anyone that want to share keywords that I think they are fundamental for be fast in the keywords? Anyone that is already using? Okay. Lonzu, you want to share another one that is quite fundamental for you?
Keyboard shortcuts?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, my keyboard is different, so probably it's not gonna be very useful because it's different. Yeah.
Okay. So another one that is very important is the tab. The auto completion is called. So whenever you type a command, let's pick up a command that is quite long, like gdal, because if not, so if you write this starting gd and then you press tab, if you press once and nothing is coming out, means that there are many commands that start with gd. Okay, so you have to press twice. So you press tab twice and gd, you press twice and you have the list. and then you say, okay, I want a GDAL. So at this point, you don't keep typing, you just press again, and it's going to complete where until he found one or more command. Okay, so let's see if I want to GDAL, this one, allocation info. So rather than keep writing, I just add another L and then autocomplete. So if the autocomplete of tab doesn't work, don't keep typing, because means that is wrong. So for example, if I want to GDAL, I want to do the same, this one, GDAL location info. So, but I forgot the double L, let's suppose. So, and then I do location, and the tab is not working. Now I press it. Even if I keep typing, it's not going anywhere. It's going to tell you command not found. So use it as much as possible, the tab, because it's for many two reasons. First, you become very fast, and second, you avoid mistake. So again, GDAL double L, boom, autocomplete. Okay, and this is going to work for the name, sorry, for the command, but also for the name. So let's suppose I want to this one, PK tools. So I do ls 02. Now 02, there are two files with 02, so I need to press twice. And then I keep writing PK tools. So again, autocomplete in order to avoid mistake. And then I say, okay, I want the collab or the OSJ, or I want the OSJ. So rather than type, please use the tab as soon you can. And again, starting from the beginning, probably Mariano will remember, use the tab from the summer school. So I hope that you are using quite a lot now. So this is quite handy for, again, for becoming fast, and also to avoid typing mistake, because this is the typical error that you will get. Okay, cannot access that file, no such a file or directory, is because you are not writing correctly the path. And again, how you can set, so let's how you can be sure is by using the, so let's suppose I want to enter in GRASS database in this one. So rather than I will GRASS database, then I don't need to list, I need to just also in this case, press twice tab. In this case, what is happening that I have inside here, I have only one folder. So of course, the tab is going to autocomplete because it's only one possibility. And then if I press it again, I have the permanent. So I press P. Okay, P is not enough because it's not unique. I need the PE, and then I can do permanent. Okay, so so this is quite handy to become faster. So try to play like 1 minute with this tab, and try to get familiar with the use of tab. People with Linux, Julia or Alex, you were using already? Okay, cool.
Just gonna ask you something. So
Yes,
not
please.
related to this now, but did you ever try to use Jupyter Notebook with Chromium? Because it just didn't work, and now I set it to Chrome, which works as a default browser. But
with Chromium, actually not really,
Okay.
because in my machine I have Google Chrome, but I didn't try with Chromium.
Okay, yeah, Chromium
So-
seems to be bugged now. Doesn't work at all.
Yeah, I mean, they are a bit heavy, this Jupyter Notebook, because, I mean, heavy, complex, but also heavy because they own kernel and so on. So Lonzu, I don't think Lonzu's Chrome. Lonzu, which browser are you using?
I mean, Chrome and Chromium use a similar base. I mean, I was surprised that Chromium doesn't work. I mean, I don't have Chromium on my system because, yeah, I don't in particular, but I used Chromium before. I think it kind of worked for me.
Yeah.
Maybe you can look into it. What's the error it gave you? What's the message you got?
Permission denied. Like it gives me this path to local share Jupyter and then some file. That doesn't work. But if I go to localhost, that's the address you also use, then it works, no problem. So I think it's a new problem because I used to use Chromium and Jupyter before, and now I feel like I'm dumb because it's not working anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like a
we-
permission issue. Probably you can fix it.
Okay, I
Yeah,
tried everything, like owning the folder, everything.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, if you go to this web page, you can follow the web page over here. The commands are very short. I mean, you can even type in the terminal, but
Yeah.
we can fix next time. I mean, just type in the terminal is I'm using both, so it's very easy. But we will try to fix for sure, Alex.
Yeah, I mean it works with Chrome. So I was just wondering if that's
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So let's see some really handy command, and in particular the special character. In particular, the special character are character. They have a secondary meaning than what you see, and one of the most famous one is, for example, the asterisk. I think many people already knows. So if you just do it ls ls ttt, question mark, it's still running, sorry. If you do, let me do it directly over here. So if you do it, for example, ls dev tty is going to list all the file that start with /dev tty. So all these one they will have in common, and whatever is missing is just the number. I mean, what is missing, what is representing the asterisk is any character of any length. So they can be alphanumeric, they can be numeric in letters, but they can be 1 or 2 or 3 or many characters. Okay, so on the opposite, for example, if you want to put just a question mark, is going to be any character, so letter and number, but just one. So in particular, for example, over here, you can see that you list only the one with one character more. And of course, if you put 2, it's going to be 2 characters. So then there are some other that allow you also with the parentheses, for example, like the one that are over here, from 2 to 4. Okay, it's going to list any file from 2, 3, and 4. So between the range between 2, 3, and 4. And of course, you can change in according to your pattern, your query that you want to do it. So these allow you to really do it a good searching inside to the file. Something also very handy is the use of these curly brackets. So in this particular task, for example, you can do ls/dev parenthesis tty comma loop. Okay, and this one is going to give me all the file that start with the tty or loop, and then so like this one, for example, and then after the loop, any character. So that's why it's listing this one, these, for example, and is also listing the tty with the numbers. So these are also called special character or also regular expression. So the regular expression is special character. So they are very common in Bash and are useful to select file and to screaming and do operation in the string of the file name or in the string of in a simple string. Okay, so you can operate with this special character everywhere. These are the typical operations that for us, Lonzu and I, that are doing, are using Bash, we do directly inside to the Bash terminal. Mainly people that come from the Windows environment that are using, they learn as a primary language Python, they will do also this kind of list inside with the Python. But we prefer to do it directly in Bash because you have more control without opening another console and then pull it out, because this information are not in Python. Python is an independent console, so why to use something intermediate? They're not using Bash directly. So in this give you a lot of flexibility also when you work remotely in the server. And I will try also I need to set up the VPN. No, I already set up, but I need to start the VPN to log in into the Yale cluster and show you how we list a big list of file and how to treat the file in a proper way under the Bash syntax. Okay, so this long list, but something that also is quite useful to know is that the special character, and be careful about this terminology, because quite often we are going to use it and say when you have a special character, for example, we have the file mylist, okay, that we create before, and you want to, for example, you want to copy this mylist to a new file, well, where the name, okay, include the symbol question mark. So in my case, I'm going to add mylist, and over here I want the question mark, okay, as a character. It's very rare, but just to understand. So in this particular case, you say we need to escape, and this is the symbol for escape. So quite often we say, okay, no, before that particular symbol, you need to make an escape of the command, of that symbol of the command. You put a backslash in front, okay? That is, be careful, that is different from the slash of the path. Okay, so this is called backslash. So in this case, what is happening that I will have a file that is going to include my question mark as a character. Okay, of course, try to avoid as much as possible file name with this special character. Even file name with the space. So if you do like this, okay, I want my list test, don't put a space because it's quite difficult to handling. Okay, it's possible, but it's quite difficult to handle later on. So always put my list test. Okay, so especially if sometimes you're working with a tree structure and you want to create a folder, create a new folder. Over here also, it's very easy to create a folder with a space, but like this one, test, new test. But yes, it's possible, but please don't do it, because then you will encounter more problem whenever you start to dealing with this folder for the path. Okay, so this is a quite common rules, and sometimes you can even see the emails from the attachment of the people. So if the people put underscore in the name of the attachment, means there are Linux guys. So it's very it's very binary situation. Rather, if you are not, okay, these people, they don't use the code. But if they have, so always put the underscore to the division, or sometimes I also do it capital letter with it for where you want to split the long name. Okay, so this is also quite common to this is helping you also the visualization, so and so on. So feel free to use one of the two options. And again, remember that this situation means escape the character that we are going to use it. Okay, perfect. So and in the same way, you can also use the quotation. So now if I want to ls/dev ttt asterisk, okay. So of course now I'm searching for the word, for the file tt asterisk, and of course they don't exist, okay, file with asterisk, because the quotation identify that I really search for word that have the symbol asterisk, okay. So this one of course will work and will list everything, but this one will not work because there are no files with a character asterisk. So this is how you escape this concept, this filing. So this, try to get familiar also with example and also with the file inside to the machine with this regular expression. These one are not many. These are the one that there are more, but these are the most common one that quite often we will use it to select file. So for example, between 2 and 4, there can be the month of a time series of, and you want to concentrate only between February and April. So you can do between 2 and 4, okay, for the number of identify the months. Okay, perfect. So try to get familiar also with your file that you have for your project, and then it will help you also in listing whatever you are needed. A concept that is quite important is the piping. Okay, so up to now we were using in the Jupyter lab, we were using the symbol question mark, but there is also this one that identify that whatever is over here is the whatever is over here is a bash command. So you can use this one. Let's say if it's only one line, use this. But if there are more than the one, I prefer to use this one. In this way, you write in the beginning and you don't need to repeat every time. So at this point, for example, try to figure out this concept. I want to list the file in this folder. So in other words, and try to do this one and listing the file in the folder bin. Okay. So, and I want to save it. I want to count how many. So the main option, the main task for this little example is to count how many file I have in this folder. So what I do it, I list the file first, then I redirect to a file tmp.txt. Okay, so now I have a file that, of course, all the information, this one, are inside to this file, and then I can even open. Okay, so it's quite a long file. At this point, I want to count how many file I have, find M folder, so I can do wc -l. So it's going to tell me that I have 1,896. Okay, so how can make this this command, these two lines more efficient with the pipe? Okay, so what does it mean? That I can use the output, because this one is producing me an output. I can use the output of this to pipe inside to the other command. Okay, so now this one is going to retrieve the same number, of course, but again, whatever I use before the symbol pipe, be careful about this one. It's going to be a bit tricky with your keyboards. I don't know where you have it now in the switch keyboards. In our case, there are two dots. Vertical is on top of the enter. Could be even that is not there in the keyboards, and you have to search on the internet which one is the combination to have, or yeah, the combination of press Ctrl Alt and then a particular command to have it. So try to figure out where it is, and this allow you to become fast also in the keyboards. So this piping operation And the piping is really why they call it pipe, because you pipe the output of a command inside to another one and then inside to the other one. So it's quite handy in this kind of operation. The concept is a bit similar for the people that use Python and for the people who are using R. When you brackets more function inside brackets, okay? So you use the output and you insert inside as a flag, as a inside to the another command in R. So these allow you to have the similar concept, but the pipe in R is quite long, can be very long, can be 4 or 5, you can even longer. So usually after more than 2 or 3, you don't pipe anymore, let's say, you just produce a file. So this is very handy because, for example, let's suppose you want to add a number to this. So we can use AWK that we are going to see more in detail next time. So you can say, okay, print $1, and $1 is the column of this text file. In this case, it's just 1 times 3000. Okay, so now, oops, I forgot that. Yeah. And now it's going to give you AWK. Now it's going to give you the command plus the 3000. Okay, so this kind of piping operation is quite handy for this kind of application in the bash command, in the bash line. So it's very handy in this line. So people that were already in the Linux environment, you are using the pipe quite often or not really? How is your experience for people who are already using?
Not really, to be honest.
Okay, so this is something that you can try to get familiar. And in particular, we are going to use quite often because also with the GDAL PK tools that are they are command that they operate on TIFF file or vector file in raster vector. You can operate it. Again, whatever you use it. So just another example. For example, before we were using, look, now I do it again, Control R to search for the, we were using GDAL info, no? Okay, so now I don't need anymore to type the full command. I can use this one directly. So let's see. So I use this one GDAL info. So let's suppose that I am interested in only this line. I can pipe, because this is something that I print into the terminal, so I can manipulate again with bash. And in particular, I'm using these. I'm interested in this last line. So what I can do it. I can use the command tail -1 is going to print just the last value, the last line of this full text file. Okay, so this is how you, for example, you get information about the no data for one file without reading all the information. So that's why it's very handy. You can use the pipe inside for loop. You can use the pipe for long nested 3, 4, 5, 6 pipe. Usually after the 4, 5 is becoming a bit complex to even think and remember also. So you just output a file. Okay, so this is what I think we are close to finish. This is what I was planning to do today. Actually, we went even further. That's why we were encountering some little issues. Like always, try to get familiar with this command during your free time. And next lecture, we are going to cover a bit more about bash. So the first 2, 3 lectures, actually 2, they are going to be about bash. And then after the 3rd, 4th lecture, we are going to jump inside the use of GDAL and later on of PK tools. So please, people with they never use Linux, try to get familiar as much as possible in order to have everybody in a super fast speed on this. So any question in this line was clear? Any doubt?
Just something that I found really useful when I took the course that you gave, maybe it's somewhere in the folders, I'm not sure. It's this little Linux command reference.
Yes. Perfect. Yes, there is a
Because
nice
that's-
reference.
yeah.
I think, yeah, let's, can you, yes, I think I didn't put the, I didn't put the link. Can you tell me, is sheet over sheet? No, we call it, how is the name of the PDF, let's say?
I have it printed, so I don't remember.
No, just read the top.
It says Unix / Linux command reference.
Yeah, so Unix, Linux, PDF reference.
And I use it constantly because I don't remember it by heart.
So yes, actually, maybe is over here. Maybe. Let me see. No, this is another one. Anyways, if you, yeah, probably is this one. There are few of them. I mean, even if you don't find the perfect the same, they will be very similar. Maybe unique command. Yeah, actually it's this one. Yeah, so I can paste this one. And yes, in the beginning it's very common to have them. Good that you remind me. So I paste in the chart. Oops, sorry, this was an old copy. Okay, my virtual guest editor doesn't work anyway. If you Google this one Linux command reference, you will get this one. So my guest edition is not working. I need to fix it. So yeah, please, Unix Linux command reference, and it's very handy as Marianne was saying, because you have the command that are used for the file command, the one that are using for process management, that frankly speaking we will not use so much in the course, like daily, but from time to time, for example, you can use the kill command. So let's suppose you have an OpenEV that is frozen. You can do OpenEV, sorry, pkill, P they stay for pattern, and then kill OpenEV. So probably this one is not over here, but it's very handy. So in this case, if you enter, it's going to kill all the application that has OpenEV. So if you have, for example, QGIS that get frozen, for example, you can do QGIS and then pkill QGIS. So it's going to completely, so if you have something frozen, please use this one. Or another one super handy in this context is also this. Let me open, like, for example, Emacs. So let's suppose that I didn't install it. Yeah, let me open OpenEV, yeah. So now, for example, I open OpenEV, I didn't install too, sorry. Leaflet, that one. Yeah, so let's suppose that I have this one open. So if I want to kill that application, this is very handy. You do X kill. Okay, then when you enter, your cursor will become like a cross. Whenever you click, it's going to kill that that application. Okay, so this is very handy. Also, for example, sometimes even the terminal gets stuck and you cannot close it. So again, X kill, and the X stay for the kill of your mouse. Then you click on the application and that one is going to close it. So for example, I can even close this one, for example. No, I don't need it. Boom. is going to kill that application. So these one are quite handy, this process management. Another one that I use quite a lot is stop, to see to see how the processor are working, and even better, stop. And actually this one I think is not installed. No, it's installed as a default. Stop, H stay for human, is a bit better because you have the, let's say, the bar that give you, for example, the amount of CPU that is using. So now the virtual machine is just one CPU as a default, but you can increase it for doing some multi-core operation. We'll try to increase. And also the memory, in accordance, this is the memory that we give when we set up the virtual machine. So in this case, 2.6. And then, of course, over here, you just press Q to exit. Okay, very good. So these are the main one that use it. We are using system info also, but not very quite often. File compression, yes, we will compress and compress some file. And then these one are the one that you use it for installation. And also for working with the network, but we are going not to really use it. And these are the shortcuts that I was mentioned today. There is another one quite handy that I use quite a lot. I don't know if you want to use it, but I think so. So for example, if you want the GDAL, okay, so let's suppose you want this line. And in particular, you want from only here. Okay, you don't want this one. So what do? You do Control K, and when you do Control K, you paste your memory. So then you do, for example, GDAL translate, and then you paste back Control Y. So this is super handy. You Control K one section of the command, and then you paste in another line. Okay. So this is super handy in this context. So try to get familiar about all this command, and we will go through some of them also next time. Next time for other commands.